Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. I'm the old school game snob. In today's video, we're taking a look at a variation of my diehard sorceress. This is a diehard Amazon. Oh, that's probably loud. Let me turn down the audio a little bit here. There we go. There we go. That's reasonable. All right, let's get back to it. So what we're going to take a look at here is basically the rundown. I'll show you the rundown real quick. For gear, we are stacking to maximum immunities when we're stacking basically flat physical damage reduction. We're up to 124 damage reduction by using an everlasting coronet, in this case, tiara, whatever the case may be. This could roll potentially even better if you happen to find a jeweler's version of this. You can get a flat 25 damage reduction, then you can socket it with, I think, 2 to 3 additional soul runes, maybe. I'm gonna have to check on that. At least one. So you can get higher than I've got here, is the point. You can also get higher than I've got here. You can get up to 25 physical damage reduction from your amulet. This is of the life everlasting. Gambling these up is a good way to go. I found one of these doing shank runs, and I just gambled up multiple of these. These are pretty easy to find. Girk's Sanctuary is great because you get some resistance, also damage reduction and magic damage reduction. We're stacking basically here for physical damage reduction, but there is a variation that kind of balances out physical and magic damage reduction. But magic damage reduction is pretty specific. You know when you're going to encounter creatures that do magic damage, and if you don't want to like worry about that, you can just kind of avoid those areas where there's magic damaging creatures, or just watch out for them. There's not that many. The serpents, the snakes, and the casters here actually in River of Flame, Chaos Sanctuary. Anyway, Hellmouth Gauntlets are good for the Fire Absorb. We've stacked up to 85% Fire Res, so that additional Fire Absorb basically means almost any fire damage will heal us. Thunder God's Vigor means that basically like all lightning damage heals us. I don't think there's anything in the game that does lightning damage that doesn't heal us with 20 lightning absorb plus 85% lightning resist. Nothing I can think of. We've got 2 Nature's Peace rings. This is because they have damage reduction. We've also got Inferno Stride boots. That is because these increase our maximum fire res. That just makes it so our Hellmouth Gauntlets work a little bit better. It just pushes it over that edge to where damage sources from fire, heal instead of slightly damage. Yeah, that's good. Gladiator's Bane. Now, you could do a few variations of this. You could potentially, instead of a Gladiator's Bane, you could get a 4 open socket, 4 soul runes, and actually get even a little bit, what is it? You could get, actually about the same damage reduction. You wouldn't get the magic damage reduction, which is nice about Gladiator's Bane, but you could still get that. Not that Gladiator's Bane is the hardest thing to find, but that's basically the items. For the gear and the stats, what we're doing is we're putting on enough strength to wear armor and whatever. That might be a little bit higher than is necessary, but this is just kind of a quick build in Hero Editor. So next up, also dexterity is higher than is necessary. I think that's being boosted by a few things at the moment, a few pieces of gear. I don't remember which ones. But about 240 dexterity is enough to basically get 75%, which is the max block. For the rest, we just put into Vitality. The other option is to put some into Energy, potentially. I've got a bunch. You need to stack quite a few charms into this build. Now, I've got a few here. I've got, Geeds and a couple of mana life charms, just to get life and mana up a little bit. The one thing that you have the option of in this build is to either use an Insight to basically make sure your mana stays full, or you could have a lot of fun, which is what we're about to do here, by using Destruction. Destruction, much more expensive, obviously, but this is going to be a fireworks show. Fortitude, Andariel's Visage. You could also use Treachery for that. In the skills over here, we have basically maximum Lightning Fury. That's it. The rest is all just bonus skill points. Over here, we are maxing out Evade, Avoid, and Dodge. And then I'm also maxing out Pierce. The reason I'm maxing out Pierce instead of using Razor Tail is because I want to use Thunder God's Vigor. And High Pierce is good. 89, not too bad, pretty good. 100 is better, obviously, but that's only, I think, achievable by sacrificing that nice lightning absorb. So you can choose what you like there. better. But let's take a walk. Let's take a walk into Chaos Sanctuary. But here's the thing. We have now got... Oh, and by the way, I've chosen the Defiance merc. Defiance Aura merc. That will get our armor up to around 9,000. You could also get really tricky and use... what is it? I forget which rune word. Anyway, let's... which gives you chilling armor to even stack more defense. But basically, here in a nutshell, we're gonna see some fireworks. This is gonna be fun. The problem with all the fireworks is that mana is going to be a little bit low, and also I don't have infinity on this merc for breaking those lightning immunes. Now that's okay because Sundered Charms are now in the game, so you could potentially get some Sundered Charm, lightning Sundered Charm, and not even need to get the infinity. But there's some options. Yeah, so anyway, you might need to stack a little bit more mana to make the destruction version of this work. I'm going to swap back over to Infinity, or Insight rather, to Insight, so that I have enough mana to do my stuff here. Now, Insight's a lot of fun in this particular setup because I forget which piece it is now. Oh yeah, the Hellmouth Gauntlets are constantly casting that, what is it called, Firestorm, level 12 Firestorm. It's not a huge amount of damage, but because these lightning furies hit so often, man, it's just always proccing all over, all over the place. It's an absolute elemental lightning show. Lightning fire fury is what we've got here from all of the procs. That's what I guess I'm trying to say. But the main thing, like I say, about this build is this would be something like for a hardcore build. All right, so that's kind of the idea behind a build like this. If you never want to die, or basically become very, very tough. So, like I say, magic damage is massively reduced. Fire damage heals us. Lightning damage heals us. Poison is, poison is a little bit of a pain. Poison gets through. We have some poison res, but poison is a little bit of a pain when you encounter poison. But poison is a slow burn, so it's not going to be massively threatening. You can see how much that procs, right? Not that these guys mind fire procs because they're immune. Oh, that guy's a toughie. Stone Skin. But with all the block, 75% block, with all the damage reduction, with all the dodge, the avoid, with all the defense from the Defiance merc, with all of these things, this character's strong. Yeah, right? Like, this character's very strong. This is a hardcore build. That's kind of the point of it. It's also fast to kill, right? Especially if you get a Lightning Sundered Charm. This build is going to potentially wreck shop with a sundering of lightning immunities. Like, this is going to be I mean, come on, that's crazy, right? That's crazy. That's really good. A little bit slow if you're dealing with single monsters. Your best case scenario is taking down groups of monsters. I did actually an essay on how Lightning Fury works, but you're better to have big groups of monsters because the Lightning Fury basically bounces every time it hits a monster and splits. So you have more monsters, you get more splits, and basically one shot can take down an entire group, whereas multiple shots is required for a single individual. But yeah, with this character, with all of her dodge, avoid, evade, and all that sort of good stuff, you can kind of walk. And actually, one thing that I should note about this character, since defense and block are dependent on whether the character is standing still or not running, basically standing still or walking, you're going to want to make sure to walk quite a bit. If you don't walk, then your defense isn't going to be up. Your block isn't going to be basically, I think, reduced down to 25% or something like that, right? Oh, that's some fireworks. Oh yeah, those guys are immune to lightning, so I really need a Sunder Charm is what I need. I didn't bother to grab Infinity, and the main reason for that is because there's not enough mana on this character to really spam out those Lightning Furies without the insight from the Merc, which was a pre-Diablo 2.5 problem. But with With Sundered Charms, not so much. Not so much. Not that I've tried one yet, but I get the basic idea of it. No, you don't like immunity? You just take the immunity away. Everything's fine. Yeah. So, lightning immunes, kind of a pain. Let's head somewhere else and take a look at, you know what, let's do a little stroll through the Worldstone Keep. But, yeah, I mean, this is, like I say, a hardcore build. It's a character that could, you know, very effectively survive in hardcore difficulty. Not deal with the lightning immunes, obviously, but, you know, I can stand here, basically take no damage. The only problem is getting stuck, having to push your way through the crowd. Oh, now these are one of the examples of the magic creatures. So their little tail strike does deliver magic damage, and we're not amazingly well stacked for magic damage reduction. That's okay, because as you can see, it's pretty manageable. You know, even standing in the circle and surrounded by a bunch of them, it's okay. It's not too bad. You can just drink some heal potions, and I'd rather have like much higher physical physical damage reduction than much higher magic damage, because like almost everything does physical damage, right? So if you can nullify that entirely, versus the occasion where you encounter magic damage, and once you know which monsters do it, you know to watch out for them, right? Like these guys will do it. They'll do some damage. Now, of course, we do have some magic damage reduction, you know, a decent amount, 38, it's not too bad. But it's not a guarantee to take no damage, whereas by comparison, like none of these things can do damage to our character. They just can't they don't hit hard enough. Basically, most things in the game don't hit much harder than about 100 points of damage. So if you got about 100 points of damage reduction, you're pretty much immune to physical damage. There are a few exceptions to this, like the Pit Lords, I believe, hit around 150, 160, 170. So in the cases of Pit Lords, this wouldn't be quite enough damage reduction to entirely block all damage. But then again, you have your additional defenses, right? You have your defense, you have your block, you have your dodge from your Javazon. Yeah, it's nuts. This is a really fun build. She, you know, like I say, dishes it out and takes it so well. And actually, you know what I'm noticing here is that Fire Strike is actually melting these beetles. It's actually melting these beetles really well. They're not very tanky, but that's actually a really nice synergy that I hadn't noticed until now, because I just decided to experiment with this build like about 20 minutes ago when I, you know, when I was playing around with my hardcore sorceress, thinking, you know what, with the Sundered Charms and the combination of the Amazon's evade, dodge, avoid, and the breaking of lightning immunities, this could be a really interesting and super fun build. And I was like, okay, I gotta try it. And actually, yeah, this on the Hellmouth gauntlets, the fire damage there is actually getting through some of the lightning immunes, which is really a nice little bonus. Anyway, that's it for the instructional part of this video. I'm going to play a little bit more, so if you guys want to hang out and watch this character wreck shop without, you know, without experiencing much peril to her own person, yeah, hang out. We'll play a little bit. Yeah, going to be very interesting. Patch 2.5 just dropped, I think, today. Maybe it was yesterday. And yeah, check that out. It's totally working. It's totally melting these immunes. Actually, it's melting them really quickly too. Am I in hell difficulty? Yeah, I am. That's actually working a lot better than I thought it would. I guess it's stacking a lot of those fire storms because of all the lightning fury hits. That's a really effective synergy. Wasn't expecting it to be that effective, honestly. But that's cool. That's really fun. So, yeah, shit, even without Sundered Charms, you've still got an answer. Because you can also throw your javelin physically and do damage that way. You can also poke with your javelin and take stuff out that way if you want to. But being able to take out everything with the fire is also really nice. But yeah, even pokey poke, it's not too bad, does some damage. There we go, immune to physical. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for bigger groups of monsters. That's not enough monsters to be interesting. There we go. That's a little better. Alright. Oh. The Lightning Fury Die-Hard Javazon. And the neat thing is, have you guys seen one point in this whole video where my character has even been like a little bit threatened, you know, in harm's way, or you know, hardly even lost any health at all? Like, crazy. Like I said, you could just stand there and basically be okay. And when you're actively participating and fighting back, it just gets silly. It gets so silly, right? Like what can hurt? Like not much can hurt her. She's got so many layers of defense. Defense on defense, defense on block, defense on dodge, which is up to, what is it up to? 68%, 58. So, yeah, it's fun. It's a fun character. This is the character I'm going to be making after I finish up my hardcore sorceress, who is now, I think, level 78, and basically using a very similar setup as this character, although I think this one might be even a little bit more fun. Just because Lightning Fury is so fun. So what do we got here? These guys, Doom Knights, can hit a bit harder, but they have to actually hit her for that to matter. Yeah, and with all that defense, it's only a 34% chance to hit, and then a 75% chance to block, and if that fails, like a 50-50 chance to a dodge or avoid, depending if she's moving or not. 50 to 69, I believe it was, something like that. There we go. And yeah, like I say, those snakes with their little magic damage do get damage through, for sure, but otherwise, yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. Yeah, it's pretty good. This really gives you the feeling of trudging through hell as an unstoppable, you know, quasi-deity. It really does. Anyway, let's see. I'm only killing these guys because I don't want Emilio to die. Oh, I don't like that decrepify. Slows everything down. Well, everything meaning me. Slows me down. Everybody else is fine. All the bad guys are okay. Anyway guys, that's probably a good enough show and tell. Hope you have enjoyed this video.